Is it a period or implantation bleeding?
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's quite relevant for women who are trying to conceive or who are closely tracking their menstrual cycle: implantation bleeding. A common question is, can implantation bleeding be mistaken for a period? The short answer is yes, but there are usually some differences that can help you distinguish between the two.
What is implantation bleeding?
Implantation bleeding is a form of very light spotting that can occur when a fertilized egg implants itself into the lining of the uterus. This typically happens about 10 to 14 days after conception, which coincides with the time your period is expected, hence why it can be mistaken for the start of a menstrual cycle. However, implantation bleeding tends to be different from a regular period in several ways, including its timing, color, duration, and the amount of blood that is shed.
How is implantation bleeding different from a period?
Firstly, let's talk about the timing. Implantation bleeding generally occurs a few days before the expected date of your period. If your cycle is regular, and you notice bleeding or spotting earlier than expected, this could potentially be a sign of implantation bleeding. Secondly, the color. The blood from implantation bleeding can often be described as being a lighter color, often pinkish or brownish, as opposed to the bright red that is usually associated with menstrual bleeding. Thirdly, the duration. A normal period usually lasts between 3 to 7 days, whereas implantation bleeding tends to be very brief, with spotting that lasts for a few hours or at most 1 to 2 days. Lastly, the volume. Menstrual flow is usually considerably heavier, while implantation bleeding is minimal, often requiring no more than a panty liner.
How can I tell if it's implantation bleeding?
If you're trying to conceive and have noticed lighter, shorter bleeding than your regular period, it might be implantation bleeding. However, every woman's body is different, and some women don't experience implantation bleeding at all. Additionally, other symptoms often accompany implantation bleeding, like mild cramping, mood swings, headache, and tender breasts. But these symptoms are also common premenstrual symptoms, which can add to the confusion. If you suspect you've experienced implantation bleeding, the best way to confirm is to take a pregnancy test. Wait until the day your period is due to get the most accurate results. In conclusion, while it's possible to mistake implantation bleeding for a period due to similar timing, there are differences in color, duration, and volume that can help differentiate the two. If you're trying to conceive and suspect you might be pregnant, taking a pregnancy test at the appropriate time is the best way to confirm. We hope this video has been helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, everyone's body is unique. If you have any questions or concerns, it's always a good idea to consult with a healthcare professional.